Hello everybody and a very warm welcome to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. A little reminder, this upcoming Saturday, March the 4th on 6 p.m. GMT, which is my local time up here in Germany, we'll be having another Soul Stream. I think it's now episode number 5. It's awesome. So we can't wait and we will be having a blast as we usually have, and hopefully you will be a part of it. As for this week's episode, we will be featuring Black Satin featuring Fred Parris. Black Satin was founded in 1975 and included the following lineup: Fred Parris, Richie Freeman, Jimmy Curtis, and Nat Mosley. They only released one album and was the self-titled album Black Satin featuring Fred Parris. And I mean, look at this cover. If you see this kind of records, you know immediately that the content must be good. I mean, this is just, I love it. And I'm showing you the back as well with these guys. This is just a classical 70s album you need to have when you're into soul, boogie, kind of that disco. That's the record to go. The album was released in 1976, and once again we have the same old story. If you are not into proper promotion and all of this, because Buddha had at that time really also some major artists, so it's really difficult to getting into the sales. But Fred Parris actually left a big footprint in music business, because in the late 50s he wrote a song which became an evergreen. It was very successful in the late 50s, and it became very successful once again in the late 80s. So if you're as me, a child of the 80s, you have seen Dirty Dancing, and the song was included in Dirty Dancing, and the song was
Pleasure in presenting for your entertainment the one and only Fred Parris and the Satins, singing their hit recording in the still of the night.
All in all, Fred Parris released 3 albums. Love and Mood in 1968, which is pretty difficult to get by actually, the Black Satin album, and in 1982 Fred Parris featuring the Satins. Once again, it wasn't really that kind of successful. It's also a very good album which I can recommend, but it drifted apart. Fred Parris unfortunately passed away. I would have loved to hear his story and also what got out of the other members of the groups he was in, but actually we can't change that. But we can be happy about the music he left behind. Anyway, to make a long story short, let's have a listen. There are various test pressings from this record, and there are also 12-inch versions, especially from a track which is on this is called Tears, Tears, Tears. And it's not credited, but it's highly possible that Tom Moulton, which is a very famous remixer and one of the first person who ever did that, did the remix for Tears, Tears, Tears. So the hopes for that song were very high. But it wasn't really that kind of big success. But anyway, I showed you the front and back already. It's a great record. I'm showing you the label. Nothing strange about it. A typical Buddha label, as you have seen this, I mean, hundreds and hundreds of times on other records. One thing I want to point out concerning this record. I'm not an audiophile person. I'm far from being an audiophile person. For me, it's very important to have the music. And this record actually sounds like somebody put a big pillow over my speakers. I don't know if someone of you is out there is having the record, is having the same experience, please let me know. But sound-wise, I have to really push up the volume to have somehow decent enjoyment of the record. But all in all, it's a great sounding record. So, thanks for watching.